In this video, you'll discover 4 surprising and important things you should know about using exit intent technology to build your mailing list. Hello, I'm Shane from Thrive Themes, and in case you don't know what exit intent is, then check out the blog post that goes together with this video for more details there. So, exit intent, a lot of fuss is being made about it, and you can even pay some companies thousands of dollars a month for them to set up some exit intent forms on your website. But after you hear these 4 things, it might change the way you think about all of this. Number 1, the performance of exit intent forms is actually not very good. So this might be the most surprising of the 4 things. We've ran several tests on different websites with different audiences in different markets and so on. And we tested exit intent opt-in forms against other types of opt-in form triggers, such as time delays of different lengths or instantly appearing opt-in forms. And so far in all our testing, the exit intent forms have been the ones that performed the worst. So in other words, in terms of the effectiveness of turning your visitors into email subscribers, exit intent forms don't seem to be very good. Which brings us to point number 2. It's not about the technology. Now, it'd be very tempting to just shout from the rooftops that exit intent is rubbish and you should never use it. But the truth is that this would be a mistake. The mistake we tend to make is that we ask for the best solution. We ask for what is the right technology to use. And we'd all like a simple answer, right? What should I use? Should I use exit intent? Should I use a 10-second delay, a 5-second delay? Should I use a 2-step opt-in form? And we'd want to know what the best thing is and then just do that. But the truth is, as always, a bit more complicated than that. And it depends on context. What you really have to start thinking about is, when does it make sense to interrupt your visitor and when does it not? So let me give you 2 examples to illustrate this. If you have a visitor who is reading a blog post, then one of the most valuable things that this visitor can do for you is become an email subscriber. Because the blog post is just a bit of content that will, inform and perhaps entertain a reader, but there's no real conversion goal at the end of that. So it is more valuable for you to interrupt the reader and say, hey, I know you're reading this post right now, but here's the thing you can get if you get on my mailing list. And that is a much higher value than having the visitor keep reading, because that's how you can get their email address, you can start building that relationship, and you can turn them into return visitors and fans and customers in the future. On the other hand, if this same visitor is looking at a sales page, then there is a clear conversion goal there. The most valuable thing that can happen here is that this visitor becomes a customer, makes a purchase. And there it doesn't make any sense to interrupt them and say, hey, I know you're about to buy something, but get on my mailing list instead, because getting an email lead is less valuable than making that sale. So whether or not exit intent is a good idea to use really heavily depends on where you use it and how you use it. Number 3, exit intent can be improved upon quite dramatically. So in all this testing we did, we discovered 2 ways in which we can actually get much better performance using exit intent technology. And we've built both of these ways into our WordPress plugin that's called Thrive Leads, and we call them SmartExit and SmartExit Plus. Let's first look at what we call SmartExit. So in Thrive Leads, when you've set up a lightbox and you've set it to display on exit intent, so in your trigger settings, you select exit intent, you can see the SmartExit option here, and you can choose a timer and then set a time delay. So what will happen is whatever time you set here is going to be the trigger that we use on mobile devices. And we set an alternative for mobile devices because the way exit intent works is that we look for the mouse cursor leaving the viewport here, such as it would when you try and close a tab. That's what triggers the lightbox. But of course, on a mobile device, there is no mouse cursor, and this cannot happen. There is no exit intent detection on a mobile device. So what SmartExit does is, for desktop users who do have a mouse cursor, you show the form on exit intent as usual. But on mobile users, you show a time delayed Lightbox instead. And since a lot of traffic nowadays comes from mobile devices, this can make a huge difference. The second technology is what we call SmartExit Plus, and here's how that works. In this case, as a trigger, we would choose a time delay to start with. So let's say we set a time delay to 20 seconds, and normally this would just mean that once someone loads a page, after 20 seconds, so 20 seconds after the page load, that is when the lightbox will appear. And here we can have the SmartExit Plus option, and that's simply a switch. If we switch this on, it means that anyone who visits this page and tries to leave before those 20 seconds are up will see a lightbox. So you can think of it as, ideally, we want someone to engage with our content for 20 seconds or whatever time we set here. But if they fail to do that and they try to leave before then, we will show them an exit intent triggered lightbox instead. So these are the two technologies that we've developed and added to Thrive Leads. And in our preliminary testing, the results look very, very promising. So that's how SmartExit and SmartExit Plus work. And we've seen some great performance increases, some great conversion increases from using this. But once again, it's not just a magic solution. It depends on context and using it in the right way. And finally, number 4, do your own testing. So don't go ahead and simply remove all the exit intent forms from your site and stop using it and tell everyone they should stop using it, even though that would probably be good for, marketing for us. Again, reality is a bit more complicated than that. And doing that is really just a repetition of how we ended up with all these websites using exit intent in the first place, which is that, someone came up with this idea and said, hey, look, exit intent is really cool, you should use it. And then everybody said, oh yeah, let's listen to this guy, and started using it, even though, as it turns out, it's not very effective. Now, with everything I've told you so far, I hope you're starting to see that really the only way to find out what works best on your website and for your business is to do your own testing. So it's simply not a matter of exit intent is always bad, or you should always use a time delay, or you should always use a 2-step opt-in form. The real thing you need to do to get the best possible results is do your own testing. So those are the 4 most important things you should know about exit intent technology. And with this, I hope we've busted the myth of exit intent as just being like the best solution to use in every case. You can also check out the blog post that goes along with this video for more details and some of the stats and tests that we ran. And if you have any questions about this, then you can leave a comment right below this video, either on YouTube or on the Thrive Themes blog. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.